at this at around 1+ p.m., 1:52 p.m. on 21st of June. All right. So then this is the number of prices, right, on left-hand side, prices that was done, how many order, and what's the volume done. And then they break down the volume done to be bid and ask, meaning is a seller come down to hit the bid price, or did the buyers go up and buy from the ask price. So you will see the volume at the bid, meaning is a selling coming down. If it's the volume coming at the ask, is the buyers buying at the price to go buy up the ask price. Okay, so below also there's a chart, so for easier reference. So let's say sometimes there's a lot of prices involved, like for DBS and not, you might not be able to see the visualize the orders quantity very well. So below the chart actually show you the visualization more. You can see that the 35.55 level has a lot more volume. Then next to the 35.65, but that is from the block trade, which is like either a merit deal or the order that was done due to the market matching itself. Okay. So this is the support of market depth, because market depth itself shows you what is in the queue real time, right? In the queue, meaning that it's still now queuing up, not yet done. It's in the queue for both buyer and seller. But for the trade summary, is the volume is already done. All right. So you can see that you can try to compare between the resistance and support levels within the market depth, and then you see whether it holding through over here at the trade summary. Because if it is a significant support or resistance, so-called, you see a lot more volume gathering or traded at that price level. Okay. So this is another example. So you see on the right-hand side, okay, over here, you see that in this case, this counter that I'm looking at is Venture. All right. So for both the bid and ask guide, I highlighted two red color brackets to box up to show you what I mean by some of the volume. So you see on the left-hand side, for the bid side, for Venture itself, it was trading mainly at around 14.15 all the way to 13.93. That is for the ask, for the bidding, the queuing up pricing to buy. All right. So the first two price, 14.15 and 14.14, there was a lot more volume. If you add them up together, it's around 42,000 plus 43,000 compared to the other prices in the queue. And there are some prices in the queue, there's only a few hundred, right? Like 14.08 to 14.04. There's only a few hundred at each price level that was queuing to buy at that price. So 29,000 and 13,000 was actually quite a significant volume for Venture at that point of time. All right. So meaning that it might be already traded at this level and is acting as a support. Unless there's sufficient selling pressure to break through that support, then you go to the next support. Okay. So after you see that, if you see through this market that you see, actually there's no real support after this level, because after that all the way down, there's no price level that hit above 10,000 shares queuing to buy. Meaning if there's let's say there's really a very strong sell order or a large sell order coming in, it might actually deplete the price all the way down because there's no willing buyer to absorb. So if you are actually a seller, right? So this helps you because if you are looking to sell, you know that you do not want to sell one shot everything, let's say 100,000 shares of Venture into the market, because you know that the market cannot absorb the price without pushing the price all the way down. So sometimes you might break up the order to sell over a few blocks, let's say 10,000 blocks per time, to try not to impact the price too much. Right? But after you queue to sell directly for 10,000 shares, you hold 90,000 left trying to sell. But after the order is completed, there might be new buyers that come in to buy at the same price or slightly lower. So at least you know that as and when you are adding order to complete the main bulk, the big order of 100,000 shares, you can sell in 10,000 blocks, right? It will be easier for you to not impact the market price of the counter, which is negative to you because you're looking to liquidate, right? So same thing is true for buyer. So if you're looking to buy, you do not want to buy one shot a very large quantity because you know that you'll push it up all the way to at least 14.2, unless you want to buy less than 2,000 shares. If not, you will keep increasing the price because you let's say you're trying to buy 10,000 shares. It's only enough if you buy up to 14.17 at this point of time, if you want it to be done immediately. But if you want to buy, let's say 50,000 shares, you will not be able to do it until you hit 14.20, because 14.16 to 14.19, the added volume of shares is less than 40,000 shares. So if you're trying to buy more than 40K shares, you end up having to push the price all the way to 14.20, and that's 5 bits away. So that is a way that you're looking to see how to not negatively impact your decision to buy. But there are some investors also that they will really just throw out everything in one shot. First thing is it might be you expect negative news that is going to be announced, or you perceive certain news that is announced at a lifetime real time to be negative for this counter. Some people do dump their stock at one shot, and that's why you see sudden price plunges, because there was no queuer willing to buy at the point of time, and it plunge all the way down based on the volume that's in the market. Okay, the same thing is true for the buyer. If let's say there's a positive news that come out and people want to participate in the positive news, they might all jump in the bandwagon to try to get the order done, and that might push the price up in short term. And that's how certain market news like earning results or corporate actions or acquisitions and merger and acquisitions might affect the prices of the stock. Okay, so you can actually use this to observe the impact of the volume itself and what it might impact you in terms of your buying and selling order preference. Okay. The same thing, Lian, I'm showing you the trade summary for the venture. All right, so you can see the trade summary for the venture now, just now was 1514 for the support. Resistance was 14.20 and 14.30. So you see over here, 14.1415, you can see that it is, of course, the higher volume one already. Then that support the fact that then this might be acting as a relative stronger support. And you can see that 14.12 to 14.15 for this case, they do have a larger volume of shares done within these four price ranges. So this is like a support zone of prices. Of course, there was a certain volume done below, meaning that if you're just looking at this and how you interpret this news that I'm looking at, I will see it as there was a price that was lower, right? Then as the volume continued moving up, there was more buyers willing to support the price at between 14.12 to 14.15, meaning there might be either the selling pressure coming down to hit below. But in this case, if you see the color of the bars, they are mainly green, like 14.03 and 14.08. They are mainly green, and green is ask, which is mean that the buyers go in the market and hit the ask price directly. All right, so it means that likelihood is that there was sufficient buying pressure to push the price up on the way, and now it's at around 14.1516. That's the current price you see just now at the market depth. Then the 14.14 to 1516 will be then acting as a support of the market right now. Okay, that's how you can try to interpret between the market depth and the trade summary to try to support a viewpoint, and also to see if it does affect your trading decision to hold on or to liquidate or to even enter the counter based on your trading decision. Okay, so this one is over here. So S volume and B volume, right? So S vol and B vol, they are quoted in the main page in bracket K, meaning it's in number of thousand of shares, right? So if you see there's 2448.4, the one that's highlighted in gray, and 3288.9, right? This is in thousand of shares. So it means that there's 3.2 million shares queuing to sell, and there's 2.4 million shares queuing to buy. And this is at the best bid and ask queue price that is currently available at the market, which is the bid and ask price. So in this case, it's 2.53 and 2.54. So the volume that is below at 2.52, 2.51, 2.50, all that you can only see in market depth and not in this price code of the market itself. So technically, the best code is actually the first level of market depth that you see in the market depth too. All right. And one thing that's significant to me that I want to see is also what's the 3.2 million is the total volume of shares done for the counter. Sorry, there's only 900,000 shares queuing to sell. So one more thing that's important is the total number of shares volume, like I mentioned just now. So let's say the today's volume is 3.2 million. All right. So then at that point, at the point of time that you're seeing 3.2 million shares total done for the day. All right. Then if you have 2.4 million of shares queuing to buy at 2.53, it's very unlikely that sellers can break through unless it's a very big order coming in to sell beyond that 2.4 million shares queuing to buy. Meaning it's harder for the price to hit lower than 2.53. But if you compare that to the one above, just above it, this the first row, right? Only 400,000 shares queuing to buy and only 800,000 shares queuing to sell. But the trading volume for the counter for the day is already at 3.1 million as well, right? Meaning that there's a lot of volume for the counter. It's easier, or there's potential chance that the trading itself might break through that particular level because there's sufficient buying and selling pressure on either side based on the market movement of the counter, right? So the one that I believe might not move as easily. All right. You need to see where the Q is, the queuing in the B volume S1 is very large, and yet the volume is very small. And there's some counters sometimes like that you might see, especially for Singapore wise, some of the REITs that are not moving very actively, some of the REITs have a very strong support resistance level within the same trading day itself. All right. Okay. So when you're comparing between the market depth and the transaction value, which is what I'm mentioning, so the one on top, the snapshot, the price bid and ask is at 0.875 and 0.88. The queuing to buy is at 1.2 million shares, 1291,000. And queuing to sell is at 5881.3 thousand queuing to sell. So there's 5.8 million shares queuing to sell and 9.4 million shares already transacted for this counter. So if you take from this snapshot itself and you're looking to compare, then you'll think, likelihood is that it will be harder for the price to hit above 0.88. Because 0.88 have 5.8 million shares queuing to sell. And based on the volume that's already done for the day, maybe more than midday, with only 9.4 million. So it's not as easy to break. So it is more significant as a resistance. Whereas the support-wise for 0.875, even though it's 1.2 million shares, but it's still possible to be broken through, because 1.2 million in reference to a 9.4 million in terms of the total volume for the day up to the date of time. All right. It's not as significant. But if you see the market depth, you see 0.87, 0.865, and 0.86 itself. These three price level have 6 million, 6.7 million, 6.8 million, 7 million shares queuing to sell. Queuing to buy, sorry. Queuing to buy for these three levels. So for the sellers to come in and break through these three levels, it's not as easy. Because the total volume for these three levels added together is already at nearly 20 million. So 20 million is already actually more than whatever the total volume of the day has been traded. So means that this support from the 87 to 86 price level is stronger, but 875 there is 1.2 million shares queuing to buy, but it's not as strong as a support. Then for the sell side, you see that across all the different sell price levels, it's actually quite even at 5 million plus per price level. So in general, you can see that if you look at this counter, if it's at this queuing volume of both buy and ask, bid and ask for the counter, it is very likely that this counter, usually the movement of the counter will not be more than 5 bits range within a trading day. Right? If this is the volume and this is the queuing in place, because the amount of shares queuing at both bid and ask is very, very significant. All right. So let's say you're looking to sell the counter, you want to sell at 90 cents, you know that's your target price to hit your strategy of this ratio of win and loss. But you also can see based on this is that 90 cents is very, very unlikely to be done. First thing is you're going to queue at least behind the 6 million shares queuing already at 90 cents. And you must wait for the price to hit beyond 88, 885, 89, 895. And that is added together also 20 plus 21 million, more than 21 million worth of shares before you hit your price level of 90 cents and you are queuing behind the 6 million shares also. So meaning that you're queuing behind a total volume of 27 million shares to sell at 90 cents if you want to queue in right now. So as a decision making wise, if you find that it's not as significant to you for 1 cent or half a cent, and you don't mind selling a bit lower, all right, let's say queuing at 89 or 88.5 is a lot higher likelihood than queuing at 90 cents for the day itself. All right, but also the matching itself might be done at different pricing. And usually for matching, which is at a market open and market closing, and also when the market resume trading from lunchtime, these three matching period usually have a higher volume of shares done because it's a gathering and price discovery of the three different timing itself. So compared to the real time, every second the number of volume is shares done. The market matching for morning, evening, and the lunchtime usually have a bit larger volume. Right. So another one is that sometimes we like to see whether there is an increase in the trading volume also, and at the price point where it was broken, the price support and resistance is one way that you can also use to supplement your trading decision. If you are a person that uses technical analysis, you might be looking at the volume of shares done, you might be looking at the price charts itself. All right. So when it breaks certain support and resistance level, you will see a very strong spike in volume. And then you can go in and see on the day itself whether it's a bid and ask then you can tell whether or not it was acting as a support or resistance, because the price hit down to that level, at a support level, and rebounded back. In this case that I'm showing at SIA itself, the chart itself, right? It broke to 6.7 at this point of time on the June 12th, right? Then it did rebound back up to end that time slot at 6.73, right? So 6.7 was the lowest point that it hit at this point of time. And this is a 1 hour chart. So 1 hour chart. So this is from 11 to 12 p.m. Of the trading day of 12th of June, right? And then there was a volume of shares done for 1.4 million plus, right? So this is how you can see the thing. Whereas the normal volume done for every hour on average is around 400,000. So there was a spike in volume when the price hit below that level. And that's how I can see, was it acting as a support? Was there more buyers coming in but hit the support level and then wanting to buy for the rebound and the sort of thing? All right. So all this will help you in adding up from market depth to trade summary to now also using volume data on either the chart or the volume itself to see certain decision making factors that you can actually implement to analyze the counter. Okay, so the number of orders also makes up also to show on the level 2, which is the left and right side, the most left and the most right hand side, right? Number of orders, and it indicated the number of orders and traders by extension that's involved at each price level. Of course, sometimes if some people know that there are people that trade using algorithm trading tools, right? Some of the orders in multiple might not be different trader, might be the same trader that have multiple order at the same price. All right. But usually for algo, they might not queue as much extensively at different price level for different number of orders. It's more of within the price of, let's say, the nearer to the market price one, and there might be certain algorithm trading to do certain trades implementation of strategy based on what is happening on the volume of the BNR. So sometimes you see that when I see someone sell 1,000 shares to the best bid price, they sell, let's say, example, sell to 6.75 1,000 shares. So the volume should drop to 93.1, from 93.1 to 92.1. 1,000 shares is done. But once it is done, in a split second, it might jump back to 93.1, meaning that after someone sell 1,000 shares, someone queue in to buy 1,000 shares again. So those usually at a split second type of reaction time, usually it's either institution or prop traders or even the algorithm traders that have certain algorithm patterns to place certain orders based on what's happening in the market in terms of the volume, in terms of the price point, in terms of the average weighted price and stuff like that. So all these are factors that they use to determine whether to or not to keep on queuing. And you can see number of orders. So in this case, 93.1 thousand shares queuing to buy at 6.75 is only made out of 5 orders. So the average order size around 18,000 plus. If you compare that to the 6.73 have 1 million shares queuing to buy. So it's a larger volume for sure, like a support already for 6.73, 6.72. There is 1 million shares each, right? But for 6.73, 169 order makes up the 1 million share, meaning the average size of the order is less than 7,000, right? But if you see 6.72, 1.1 million queuing to buy, right? Only 101. So around 10,000 share per order queuing to buy on average. Right. Of course, there is definitely skewed. There'll be larger order, there's large quantity, there's order, there's small quantity. But this basically just gives you an indication of whether or not that price itself is really queuing up in bulk by retail traders, by the big traders institution, or by certain business entities or corporate itself, instead of individual retail. But usually retail or clients, they do not queue as large as an order involved. Because 1 million shares of SIA queuing to buy at 6.73 is actually $6 million, right? So it is quite a significant value per se already for a Singapore trading activity level wise. Okay, so you can also monitor to see at a small order whether any, like sometimes we do see cases where the order trades done is done by 100 share, 100 share, 100 share. So each second there's 100 shares done for that price level. But Singapore anyway, they'll amalgamate. So some people, they use the algorithm, they do 100 shares itself to try to like we say, break up their order to buy over time for their full quantity that they want to buy instead of moving the price level. Of course, for this case, for this particular market depth that we are seeing, it's not as easy to move the price. So let's say you buy 100,000 shares, you will not move the price, right? You can definitely fulfill at 6.76 if you want to buy immediately, or queuing at 6.75 also have a high chance of doing the order done. But let's say you want to queue for a counter that have a lot lesser in queuing volume, you might want to break up the order. And that's why you see sometimes the order status, the order history, right? You might see sometimes the number of shares done, the time and sales is by 100 of shares each level at each different timing itself. All right, so you can actually monitor to see any corporate, institution, or algo trading involved in your trading of your counter. Okay, so this is just the three different things. So the summary again, assess liquidity, like I mentioned just now. So basically to see the number of orders, what's the liquidity involved. So just now SIA have a high liquidity. Each number of order have a few million shares queuing to buy and sell, high liquidity. If it's low liquidity, it's like a venture just now. Venture sometimes only 10,000 shares or less than 100, a few hundred shares. So those are the liquidity involved in each counter and the different market depth involved for both sides or both the B and Rs. Then you can visualize, because like I mentioned, you can then use the market data to try to visualize how the order in queue can use. So use market depth and use trade summary as an added point. You can add on with the charts if you want to, but usually trade summary and the market depth together can give you quite a good indication of how the market was moving and performing, and how it will perform, how it might perform for the remaining of the day itself. Also can be seen through market depth and the trade summary page. And after you see how it move, and then you get a decision point in your mind on how it's moving, then you can identify whether or not there is trading opportunity for yourself to either buy and sell the counter. All right. Okay. So subscribe, very simple. Under the rewards tab, go to the service there. It's free, right? Do really subscribe. It's a free of charge one, right? So why not do it? It's until free until end of November itself. All right. And once you click on it and you acknowledge it, it's immediate activation for the market tab. All right. Can also be accessed through the promotion page to read more. If you want to read and understand more on the TNC, if you're not sure, if you want to really read up before you subscribe, you can go to the promotion page. All right. Okay. So main thing is that we want to use in collaboration with technical analysis. If you want to see the SGX own video, they have a video on YouTube to actually explain this whole session that I'm having in webinar in their short version in terms of the video, right? Okay, so they visualize, assess, and identify. This is the trade videos. And within our trading tools that we provide for you, right? So not only we have the market depth, we have trade summary. You go to the chart itself, we also have ChartWiz and ChartLive, right? So ChartWiz is just basically one that we're working with. They give certain trading ideas, right? So with the trading idea, you might be bullish, you might be bearish of certain counter. So it helps you to identify the counter already. So you identify a counter based on technical analysis trend, all right, based on TA trend indicators. Then within the trading of the counter itself, you're looking to, let's say you're bullish, you're looking to buy. You can then use the market depth data and use the trade summary data to get an entry price level for yourself. Also coupled with the TA to see if it is a valid price level. Then you can see on the live trading itself, what is the price level you can get if you have a bullish view on the counter, right? So chart live also. Okay, on the chart, if you use a technical view, on our tab, there's a tab called fundamental view and a tab called technical view. Technical view is where you can see the chart, and also right hand side will show the trade analytics tab. And the trade analytics tab have time and sales, trade summary, and market depth. Right, so this is what I mean by the time and sale. You see the number of order, the quantity done at each timing. Let's say 13.1844, 13.1843. All these are in the seconds, right? 43, 44, 35, right? These are second timing itself. They might not be as accurate into the microseconds, but this is already quite good, I believe. All right, and the price involved, and then whether or not the volume, 200, 100, 300, 400, and then the type is buy up or sell down, meaning the order that is done, was it done by a buyer buying up or a seller coming down, right? So buy up means that the buyer buy at the ask price, and it's buy up. If the seller sell at the bid price, it will be sell down. So in this case, you can see for this particular snapshot, majority of the last, let's say 10 plus near 10 minutes is all buy up in majority. Only one sell down to 9.48. The rest is buy up. So if you can see at the bottom, right, if you observe carefully, it was 9.48 at the bottom half, meaning the ask price was still 9.48. And at one point at 131029, it became sell down at 9.48 and then buy up at 9.49, meaning the price had already broken 9.48 and hit 9.50 instead. And that is the shift in the bid price, meaning the ask price now become the bid price, and then the ask price is the next highest ask price, next lowest ask price involved, which is 9.49 in case of the market. Okay, so there's a question asking on whether how to indicate it's a fake queue, or maybe retailers might be coming in to see there might be a support. So there's a few things to take note of is that fake queue is where you believe that the person queue into the market without having the intention for the order to be done. Right? So that's fake queue, one thing. But sometimes if you see the queue removed and then replaced at a different price level, it's not really a fake queue. It's more of maybe they want to buy at a different price level based on the market movement, or they are market makers. Most market makers will actually try to provide liquidity in the market by putting sufficient volume of bid and ask on both sides on the market, but they might not be static, right? Because based on market movement, they might move the market making prices. So sometimes you do see that they withdraw and they replace in the different price level at a bulk quantity, especially for your ETF, especially for even, let's say, the warrants, DLC, the market makers, the product providers themselves. They provide market making services. The price might be withdrawn and placed at different price level based on the underlying shift or based on the counter's movement of price. So your main idea of fake order is, we say, the more commonly when it happens is when it's doing matching, right? So when the matching happens, you can see the market depth. You can see a few 100,000, a few million shares queuing to buy both at the same price of the bid and ask. Then they try to formulate the best combination of price for the matching price to have the most number of orders done, and also the trading volume, value done. Okay, so let's say at $10 and $10 itself is the best bid and ask. There's a few million shares on both left and right side. Then sometimes the fake queue might come in to queue at 1.01, for example. They are testing to see what's the quantity of share I need to key in to use the bid to overpower the sell. Right, same thing will be done for the ask on the bid. They might keep on adding order to see when it overpower the bid to push the price down, because they want to see what's the total actual volume at each price level. Because even though you see at $10 there's a few million shares queuing to buy, this 10 million shares is made up of all the orders in queue that is from $10 and above. It's not only $10. Even if you're queuing at $10.01, during matching timing, it will only show at $10 if that was the matching price equilibrium. But some people might be queuing at 10.02, 10.03, 10.04 within the 10 million shares, within a few million shares queuing to buy at $10. Right? Because they have priority, because they're queuing at higher price. But let's say the equilibrium is broken, and then now the price becomes 10.01. Then of course you will see that the order in queue for the buy side will shrink a bit, because the orders that is queued at exactly 10 will be removed from the system, and only from 10.01 and above will stay as the buying volume on the 10.01. Then the sellers wise, you add another price level that's willing to sell up to another this 10.01 itself. So you see there should be more people willing to sell, right? Because they queuing at higher price. And now people are willing to sell at 9.99, 9.97, and $10 and $10.01 is added in. So there's more volume. So that's a new equilibrium. So they keep doing this buy and sell, withdrawal, and placing of orders to try to test the market. And that's how we see that sometimes if you want to determine that, then that might be a fake queue. Another fake queue that might happen is when the bid price, let me go back to here. Okay, let's say over here, example, you do see, let's say there's 1 million shares suddenly added to the price of 6.7. So now 6.7, instead of only 1 million shares queuing to buy, there's 2 million. So like you said, it might be perceived as a support, because there's now 2 million shares, and compared to the other price level, 2 million is a lot higher. All right, at 6.70. So that might be the thing. But if as the price go down, let's say the price go to 6.74, and then before it hits 6.70, the order 1 million is withdrawn. And you can see that the order count is 166 currently for 1 million shares at 6.70. If you only increase to 167, you can roughly know that one big order is made up of only one order or only a few orders that is in queue, and then the queue is removed. Then that might be you estimating or you contemplating whether it might or might not be a fake order, but we cannot guarantee. Right? There's no way I can guarantee as well. Right? Sometimes if there's very abused type of a way of queuing in orders, some of it actually might be queried by SGX as well. All right. But in terms of guaranteeing a certain action or not, we do not know at the point of time. Okay. So other than the technical view that I'm sharing, next one we do have the tools itself. So like I mentioned, you can add in the volume, you can use averages, up to you. You can draw the line of a support resistance that you encounter, and then you derive from your market depth and your trading trade summary. Then you can use the levers to see if you add into your charts, does it give you a clearer picture of whether or not the price was moving up and down based on the support resistance, and whether or not it will affect your buying and selling decision as well. Okay, so that's basically the market depth, right? So it's actually a lot on interpretation and inference, and how you actually perceive the particular price queue volume at a different price level, and how it will affect the market. All right. So let me go to the Q&A now. Okay, so there's a question from Amanda. All right. So first is if I break into different quantity to sell to maximize the market depth, I have to incur more trading fee for the number of selling orders, isn't it? Okay. For Singapore order and even for Hong Kong, as long as it's traded on the same trading day in the same direction, right? For the same trading mode. So let's say I'm trading in cash, right? Not CPF, not SRS, trading in cash, or only trading in CPF, or only trading in SRS. As long as you keep the same order, let's say I have 10,000 shares of DBS in cash that I want to sell. It's in CDP or in my account. I break up to 1,000 shares to sell for 10 times. It will form one contract if everything was done in the same trading day. Meaning, let's say morning I sell 1,000 shares, 3 orders. So total 300 shares done in the morning. PM session, I sell 7,000 shares over 7 orders of 1,000 shares. The next day, you will see these 10,000 shares will all form only into one order. Right? So this thing is called amalgamation. It is available in most of the Asian market, your Singapore, your Bursa, your Hong Kong, even for China. Right? So mainly, you do not see this only in where? You do not see this in US, you don't see in some European country. And one more thing is, let's say I want to sell 10,000 shares, but 5,000 is in cash, 5,000 is in SRS. You will not form one contract. You will form 5K shares in cash, 5K shares in SRS, because there are two different contracts. It's delivering from two different modes itself. Or let's say you trade today and tomorrow, both 1,000 shares, then of course it will also be two different orders, right? So breaking up for Singapore market and Asian market for amalgamation it is a very common thing. So let's say I want to buy even for, let's say, orders that is, let's say, only a few $100 per 100 shares. Let's say a REIT that's trading at only 90 cents or 80 cents. Actually, only 100 shares, only $80. That doesn't make sense. But if you are looking to buy over time in the same trading day to accumulate to try to get a better price for yourself, you find that it might be going down, but not sure it will go down how much. And on to ease your way into buying. So you're buying blocks of 500 shares or 400 shares or 300 shares for every 15 minutes or every 1 hour. Then you can have a whole trading day to amalgamate to form a larger quantity that you want. But yet at the same time, you know that you manage to average the price that is done over the same trading day itself. There's some ways that some people do it itself. The blocks in blue in the chart, what are they? They are actually done from the matching, or sometimes they are done from the merit deal. Matching meaning is either the morning pre-market or the lunch before the reopening, and also closing matching itself. Why can't the market depth feature be free to use for all POEMS users? It is free to use for all Singapore market for SGX market depth. For other market depth, Hong Kong is not free because the service itself is provided by a service provider in Hong Kong. They charge us where we translate the cost over to the clients that want to use it. But it is a opt-in service. It's not a default service, right? For Singapore, same thing. Actually, SGX do charge the service itself because they're now currently to encourage more trading volume and encourage more usage of the trading market depth. We are giving a collaboration with the trading houses. Of course, I don't think it's only us, but we are providing it for free for our customers itself, right? So it's a collaboration that they have. Will Philip increase the maximum chart opening time and sale at one time? Now only 4. Okay. Maximum chart time and sale at one time 4. This one I think is criteria. Is due to the lag, right? So due to the number of data feeding, and they want to not crash so called the way it works for the servers. From what I understand, if you want to have a increase in number of the chart itself and all that, Poems Pro have the availability to have more than 4. Only Poems Pro, which is a program by itself running on the computer. Okay. For market depth and trade summary, that one I'm not too sure. I can actually ask on feedback, but I think currently they're also limiting based on the same reason rationale itself. Okay, so Poems Pro is not subscribed. Poems Pro is you go to the website, you could download the program. It is a program. It's a bit like a program that you use on the trading platform itself, right? So it's a program that you can just download and use to log into the server. But if you are using firewall for your computer, you might need to give the allowance for it to go through a firewall. If not, you will not be able to get internet access. But it's a program itself lah. So you still need to clear the firewall. It's no longer a website only. What I mean, can the feature be free for use for permanently? Okay, this one I cannot tell. Then we do need to check with SGX, and also our company to see how they are looking to continue the program. This one I cannot at this point of time I cannot give you a concrete answer. But I can put in the feedback to see or not they have any plans. We're not sure at this point of time. But right now, as what I understand, is only until November for now. In time and sale section, does those machine gun symbolize or hint at anything? Machine gun. Time and sale. Can maybe you can help me clarify where you see the machine gun before I do it. Yeah. Where to get the program? You can actually Google for Poems Pro download, or you go to our Poems home website. You should be able to see other platforms. The Poems Pro, there should be a program to download over there. Oh, buying 100. Yes, that's what I meant. So those looking to buy 100 minimum, and then they buy every few seconds. First thing, algorithm trading, potentially done. Second is it might be just that some people are testing to see if there's any algorithm trading done. So it's like I queue 100 shares done, and then someone will immediately follow up with 100 shares. Meaning that following up action is very likelihood is algorithm trading. They based on the trading volume, based on the price that was done at, based on the interval that it was done at, they will queue in order. So there's some is that for every buy order, regardless of quantity, let's say 100 shares, 200 shares, 300 shares, 400 shares, there's another following up action of another 100 shares done. Then that one, the 100 shares each time is very likelihood to be algorithm trading, right? So whether or not it does give you a indication of anything like is it a very good thing or not, we do not know. Because the algorithm traders can be from retail all the way to institution. So there's no concrete to say that only the retail, only the institution can do the algorithm trading. So either side can be done. Just that you do know that there is an algorithm trader that's putting in to following and matching every order that is done. So they want to just match every single order. Let's say every order done, I want to match it with another follow-up action of 100 shares done. It could be done also. And they just have a very bullish idea, and they believe that maybe every order done shows an indication of bullish, one more bullish buyer coming into the market, and that's why they're following up with another order. So that could be one of the strategy that they are doing itself. Whether or not it's symbolize or hint anything else, it really depends on the counter, depends on the situation. There's no clear cut direction or like price manipulation type of thing that's going on there, right? Because they're just following up the action order. And sometimes they're also testing the buyer and seller. Because sometimes, let's say you're queuing to buy certain counters that, let's say, it's only for 80 cents, 90 cents. 100 shares is only $90 or $80. Then, as you only do 100 shares, you are like forcing the seller to decide whether or not to only take the 100 shares or whether they sell more at the market price if their price cannot get fully done. So there's things like this that is going on, especially near the closing hours. So people keep testing to see whether or not the price, whether if I'm a buyer, can I pressure the seller to coming down to me more by doing only a very small quantity at a large price, at the higher price. Okay, so that could be one of the things also. We do see that happen sometimes, but not at a very large scale lah. Because usually for very liquid counters and very liquid markets, it does not have a very strong impact. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. If not, right now, sorry. Okay, any implementation of AI trading? Okay, for what I'm understanding, all right, currently right now, we do not have a platform that allows you to do that directly through our platform yet. But for CFD traders, for the trade CFD for either equity CFD or for the index CFD and FX pairs, CFD has MetaTrader 4. Okay, MetaTrader 5, sorry. I think. So MT5 itself, you can use scripting, which is something like trading through algorithm, but it's not AI. It's more of trading through algorithm itself. After the seminar, if you want to send questions, I'll put in the website over here on the chat box. You can send to this website. Same thing if you want to have the slides, all right, to send to you, you can also send in to this particular email address. Then I will get my colleagues and myself to address your questions or address the slides that you want by next week. All right, you can see the TJ team at Flittercom, TJ_team at flittercom.sg. All right. So thanks everyone for joining in this Saturday noontime. I hope everyone have a great weekend ahead. Start of a weekend only. Everyone have a good rest before we have a good maybe trading week next week. It has been quite a volatile week recently. Right. So everyone should be a bit interested in what's coming up next also. All right. Thank you, everyone. And I hope to see you again for our next events or seminar. All right. So we do have other regular sessions of webinar and seminars. You can see them on our homepage under education to see the list of sessions that we do have. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a nice day ahead.